We are getting an inside look at the North Carolina juvenile justice system and asking what happens to kids who are caught taking a gun to school or making a threat against a school. Just in February, at least 13 guns were discovered on students at North Carolina schools. Jamise Price interviewed the man in charge of juvenile justice to help us understand how kids are punished and what's being done to get them on the right path. Jamise?
Hey, Steve, when it comes to this crisis we're seeing with guns, violence among children, a lot of people think, hey, they broke the law, send them to a detention center. But tonight I find out it is not that easy. The process is not that simple. And the juvenile justice system here in the state, they're making these decisions with being understaffed and at facilities that are at capacity. From the classroom to the community, violence and crime among young people are on the rise. In the last year, there's been a 21% increase in juvenile offenses, a 24% increase in the number of complaints coming into the juvenile justice system.
So we've seen a very significant increase.
We sat down with William Lassiter, the man in charge of the juvenile justice system in North Carolina. He says they're focused on rehabilitation.
The juvenile justice system in the state of North Carolina is set up as a therapeutic system. It is based off of, a lot of people use the word rehabilitation. I use the word habilitation. For a lot of the kids that come into our juvenile justice system, they've never been taught basic skills that you and I learned as kids from our parents.
But will this framework stop guns from coming into North Carolina schools and stop the threats of violence that force lockdowns and disrupt school days?
What we have seen, especially with kids that have made threats on school campuses and kids that have brought guns to schools, they don't recidivate. They don't get back in trouble. That means the services that we are putting in place are keeping them from getting back in trouble with the system. What we need to do a better job with right now is preventing them to getting there in the first place.
Between January of 2022 and February of this year, 19 juveniles were sent to court for communicating a threat of mass violence on educational property in Wake County. 12 juveniles went to court for an offense involving a firearm on school grounds, also in Wake County. 3 of them were detained in juvenile detention.
And the reality is that we've got to make the best decision for that kid not to reoffend. And if the best decision is, hey, we can work with this child and this family in the community and put services in place with this kid to make sure they don't reoffend, we're going to do that.
Also, a part of the decision making comes down to space and staff. Tonight, 550 children are in state operated detention facilities across North Carolina. That's 25 more people than they have capacity for. They're also down about 400 detention officers. In Raleigh, Jamise Price, ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
Yeah, and I know Lassiter told you he wants to increase pay for those people in his system to try to recruit more people to help out. Jamise, that was a revealing interview. Thank you very much.